Yo, what's up guys, my name is Severman, welcome back to the channel. Today I will show you guys the project file of my track Heartstrings, released on Revealed Radar a couple months ago. My latest release, made that one together with Arvenius and Yagee. So let's dive right into the project file. So as you can see, also here, we've been working with a lot of stems, so essentially those are the stems that I received from Arvenius. So similar to the For a Lifetime walkthrough that I did last week, most of those sounds are bounced out in audio, so I cannot show you the source for all of the sounds, but I will anyway show you what we got in here. It's a pretty big project file as well. We'll start with the breaks. We'll start with the guitar that we have at the beginning. Let's check that out. Yeah, dude, that guitar sounds so cool. I believe Arvenius used the electric sunburst, the contact plugin. This is what it sounds like without the other sounds. It sounds so cool in my opinion. So processing wise, I think you already added a couple effects, so there wasn't a whole lot that I had to do. I basically added a delay here, 1/8 delay I believe, and then I sent that one to another channel. On here we just got a little bit of EQing here, little bass boost, dipping those down here if they felt a bit harsh. We got TDR Nova, dynamic EQing. Then I added this EQ here where I got rid of the lows, but this one, as you can see, it's automated. So at the beginning, we still have the bass from the guitar because we only got the guitar and the vocal. But then later on, we have all the other sounds in the song. It was too muddy with the bass from the guitar, so what I did, I automated this EQ. All right, then let's have a listen to the first 8 bars of the break.
Days go by and the memories fly. Don't wanna cry anymore.
So here the main elements are the piano and then top piano with some ambient sounds in the background. Let me see if I can find the right sounds. I think this is the top piano. Okay, this is the ambience background stem. We got some impact sounds for the transitions. Let's see where we got the piano. Some more transition sounds. A crash. Yeah, here we go. Here we got the piano. So that's the Spitfire Labs. And what I did to make it a bit more interesting, since the notes are relatively long, the chords, I chopped up the stem and then reversed it and then added these little snippets here right in front of the chord that follows. So we have a cool effect. Yeah, it just fills up those empty spaces a little more. And then I also added a pad here. So like an 80s pad. Because I felt like the piano needed a bit of extra body. This one is from OBXD. It's a really nice analog sounding synthesizer. I also added the vintage chorus on here to give it that vintage character, that really nice and warm sound that I wanted, as well as the cymatics origin, which also helps to give it more of that 80s sound. Got rid of the bass here, and then making it even wider. So then in the next part, what I did was I introduced some staccato strings, but we also have some other additional elements. One of them being this additional piano. So it sounds way more open than the Spitfire Labs. It's way brighter. This one just adds more energy here to the next part. And we're also adding this background guitar. Just playing that one note, adding a bit of rhythm here. And then at this point we're also adding back in the guitar from the beginning, but at a lower volume and without the bass. It's filtered as well. Then a strummed acoustic guitar. Some shakers. A nice Reese bass for that warmth, for that body. And then an 80s bass that I added. This one. For that I used probably the PG8X, or what's it called? Yeah, the PG8X, this one. Moog bass preset. Also really nice for those 80s sounds. And then we got the big staccato strings that I added. For the staccato strings, I used laps. It's not loading here because I made this song on my old computer. So, but it's the Spitfire Audio laps here. And then this one is the VSCO2 plugin. And they sound like that. But I'm so in love with staccato strings. Then we also have this reverse sweep into the first staccato string in order to make the transition nice and smooth. So yeah, that's the next section. So here, as you can tell, we're adding more orchestral drums for more rhythm, more groove, building up that energy. Let me show you those sounds here. So we've got a snap, a clap. More shakers. What's that? A ride. We also got this, how do you pronounce it? Viola harp, I guess. And the orchestra ones. And then there's a choir in the background as well. Unfortunately, it's not loading here on my laptop. Or no, is it? I think it's strings. It's not a choir. It's also Spitfire, the Spitfire Lab strings that I added here, sustained ones. And then from here we drop into the build-up. We're starting to introduce all the drop sounds. Well, not all, but like the melody, the leads, as well as a lot of like snares and stuff. Let me show you those one by one. We got a riser, drum roll. Fading out the super grand piano with a volume automation. Riser, another one here, R-lane riser. A lot of transition sounds, that type of stuff. Impacts. There's some claps here. So one tip in the build up, try adding claps to your snares, even rides in the build up as well, to just build more energy as you're heading towards the drop. Then here I even added the kick drum using a low pass filter and a pitch automation, volume automation. And this is the mid bass and the leads being introduced. I'll also show those later when we talk about the drop. What else we got in the build up? So we got some more transition sounds. Another uplifter. More uplifters. Then we got this fill. That's the main build up snare. I love that one. Let's check out the drop section. I'll start with the kick drum. So I did try a lot of different kicks here in this drop, but I muted most of them, and at the end I ended up using just a cashmere punchy kick here. This one I pitched it up by 1 semitone, and then I normalized it and increased the in knob, which makes the tail part of the kick louder, as you can see, so it gives it a bit more sub. Then let's see what else we got. A lot of claps here, ride as well, more claps here. Let's have a listen to the sub bass. So this one is filling up, you can say, like the frequencies from 40 to say 120 hertz mostly. And then here in this track I wanted to have a really fat bass. So what I did was I added a big room bass on top of the sub bass. This adds so much pump and extra energy to the drop. For this big room kick, let me see what I did. I think I used some Vengeance bass kicks. No, actually these are not from Vengeance. These are from, I don't know, from another pack. And then here I have a lot of processing. So that's some EQ here, boosting the higher mids. Our bass here, it's not loading here on the laptop either. Again, I made the song on my old computer. But this is our bass. I really like our bass. Just gives your bass some extra push. Some blood overdrive here, distortion. Then DST by Matt Nash, also adding a bit of distortion, just a bit more like flavor to your sound. Yeah, and then some more EQing, dipping that down. Just very detailed stuff. Here high cut, and then also very important here, low cutting those, because I didn't want those to interfere with our sub bass, obviously, which is already providing the sub frequencies. We got some more dynamic EQing here on what's that, like 120 hertz or something like that, 130. And then sidechain here, kickstart 100%. So with the sub bass sounds like that. Let me activate the mid bass as well. That sounds so fat. Let me play you this without the big room bass. So most of Orchestral tracks would just have the sub bass and the mid bass like this. Sounds dope, right? But with the big room bass, just got that extra pump in the low end. So dope. So the mid bass going into channel 6. Also here there's already processing on the stem by Arvenius. So I'm not exactly sure what he did, what sounds he used, but let me share my processing. So I added a top boost here, high-end boost. Some more precise EQing, making it a little bit wider here with the stereo enhancer. I like to have my mid bass wide because I think it just makes the whole sound more interesting and kind of opens up the mix, whereas if you're using a lot of mono sounds, it kind of keeps your mix closed in a way, and I prefer to really have a nice wide mix. So then we have a little gate effect here, adding a bit more rhythm to those. Some more EQing here. This was really important, or really needed, in order to make them sit right in the mix. Sometimes it can be very tricky. Then here I had the Ozone imager, which is essentially a multi-band imager, and I don't remember the exact settings, but I believe here I boosted the width of the lower mids. Sometimes this can have a really cool effect. More EQing, more highs here, even more highs, and then the sidechain here, gross beat. All right then, let's check out the chords. So we got some synth chords, as well as pianos. So here on the synths, just a little bit of EQing, stereo enhancer for more width, and gross beat for sidechain. And then on the piano, sidechain here, gross beat, a little bit of EQing here, took down some of those mids here. Took down the lower mids here. I felt like that was a bit too much then with all the other sounds. Stereo enhancer, also here a bit of extra width on the piano. OTT to make it a bit brighter, compress it, and then more EQing here again. That's it with the chords. And now let's have a look at the leads. So Arvenius here sent me a lot of lead layers in this track, and I ended up muting most of them because I felt like it was too much and they weren't needed. So if you take a look here, those are all the lead layers, more lead layers down here, and look at how many I actually ended up muting. So when it comes to lead layering, don't use too many layers. Try to keep it simple. So let me go through them one by one. Got this one. It's the main one, I guess. Sounds a bit weird on its own, but it really works together with the other ones. So then we got this one. More plucky. Sun piano from Nexus. And then here, this one's called Heroes. This one is muted because what I did was I asked Arvenius to send me the Serum preset because I wanted to make some tweaks here with the envelope. So this is Serum preset here. And then German trumpet too. I think that's one from Nexus. And then the last one. So those are two. Is the Nexus synth brass and detuned lead 11. So all together sound like that. Real quick, let's check out the lead bus processing. First of all, low and high cut. Some more EQing here. Very precise. Always depends on what your lead layers sound like. And then we got color in here. This is a compressor. Kind of like an analog modulation here. Adding a little bit of color to the sound. And just compressing the leads a little bit. Then you see me use this one in every single video to transpire for a bit of extra punch here on the leads. And we got the P controller. The sidechain, the wet reverb here. The settings, low cut 800, high cut 8K. Use the decay time here of 2 seconds. I think this is a 1/8 delay as well. Then I added a multiband compressor, and this one I added only to compress the highs because I felt like since the leads are so punchy, I felt like the high end was a bit too dynamic. So essentially I wanted to make the high end a bit more even. Then I used this kickstart preset, quick chain at 65%. And then also added another gross beat for some extra space for the kick drum. Let me play you the leads together with the chords and the bass as well. So those are all the main sounds in the drop, and then we added a lot of ear candy here. So there's a bunch of sounds. Let me show them as well. So we got some sweep sound, downlifter, guitar arp, some hats. Then down here a bunch of fill sounds. Some rides. Even more fill sounds down here. More ambient sounds. Shaker. Believe it or not, then there are even more sounds at the top of the project file. The claps I already showed you. Here we got some vocal ambient sound, crash, arp, more ambience. So a lot of ear candy, as you can tell. Even more sounds up here. And then a snare roll. So all of these sounds help to really fill up the drop, make it sound finished. All right, then let's check out the second break.
Nights grow long as I hold on to the way you held me tight. Oceans.
So, of course, most of the sounds are the same, but for example, here we added a rock type guitar and some 80s drums here in the next part.
We're never hard enough. You're so quick to give up.
So let me show you the new sounds here that we added. I'm filtering this one in, low pass filter. If you want to know what plugin that is, go ask Arvenius, because I haven't got a clue. What I did was I added this hardcore plugin from FL. Then some EQing here to make it sit nice in the mix. Vintage chorus here helps to spread it out some more. Also adds this old school character. Stereo enhancer to make it wider, because I wanted to make sure that it's not clashing with the vocal, so made it really stereo. And then the other new sounds are the drums. It's layered with a snare, so that's a Lin kick, and the snare is also a Lin snare. Then added a hat. An open hat, and then we got some more bass sounds. Yeah, and this tom fill here at the end. Just pitching it down, then here I added this little roll, pre-roll thing. So that's that, and then we drop into the chorus, and then here in the chorus, in order to create contrast throughout the song, what I did was I took out all of the drums here, and I really wanted to have the second chorus more chill, which also at the same time makes it more emotional.
Somehow you hurt my soul, made me believe in love. Don't know what's right or wrong.
Yeah, sounding so epic. And okay, this is the section where I added the choir. This is the choir. It's the Origins epic choir from Spitfire. Sounds so cool. And then the build up second drop should also be the same. Let me show you though the vocals before we end the video. So how I process them. So here we have a lot of like harmonies, doubles again. You know, the harmonies and doubles are really there to make your chorus fatter. Processing wise, what we did. Okay, there's a ton of effects on the vocals. Let me see where could we start. Wow, that's a lot of effects. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. So what I did here, I did individual processing on the individual stems. Then I sent all of them to a bus, but then I wanted more effects, so sent those to another bus, and then from the second bus I have a delay send channel, and then we're going to the final vocal bus where we have the final effects. So it's a lot of effects on here. It seems a bit complicated, but it all makes sense, trust me. So let's go through the effects really quick. So on the individual ones, it's basically the same. First of all, just a lone high cut, and then we have a compressor to reduce the dynamic range, as well as this pitcher to just add a little bit of pitch correction. Then some corrective EQing here, getting rid of some resonances in the mids here at around 2 kHz. And then these are all turned off, so ignore those. So then on the first vocal bus, we have some dynamic EQing here to make them sit nice in the mix. Some de-essing to tame the S sounds, the highs. There's a little bit of OTT to glue the vocals together, the vocal layers. And then I added this one, real bus. This one gives the vocal a warmer character. Just adding a bit more color. More EQing here. I was struggling a bit here with the EQing to make them sit right in the mix. So I have a lot of EQing here, as you can see, more EQing, another low and high cut. And then here I added reverb, decay time 2 seconds, low cut 600 hertz, high cut 8, and then I added a lot of damping. Sausage fattener to just boost the volume. And then on the second bus, more EQing, more EQing, more de-essing, more dynamic EQing, more EQing, more EQing, another OTT, and sidechain here, I think that's for the drop. So then here on the delay send, just delay obviously, volume automation, then the slow and high filter, because the delay I only wanted to have in the mids to not have it clash with the dry vocals. And then on the final vocal bus, again we have this plugin, just adding a little bit more of a warmer color to the vocals, more dynamic EQing to catch some resonances in the mids, more EQing, more EQing, and another low and high cut. So yeah, sometimes vocals can be really tricky to mix, but yeah, so that's the vocal processing, and that's all sounds together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough. Let's enjoy the second drop together again, and I will hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.